My name is Amanda. I'm sitting at a dining table in my childhood home, the air thick with tension and unspoken words. My father, Henry, has just informed me that they're taking my office for my younger brother Ethan's budding music career. It's as if he's asking for a passing of salt, calm and final, but the words hit me like a sledgehammer. For so long, I've been the responsible one, the fixer, the daughter who always puts the family first. I've built a successful career as a remote graphic designer, using the corner of the living room as my workspace. I've invested my time, money, and energy into creating a productive environment, but now it seems like it's all for nothing. As I look around the room, memories flood back. I remember the countless hours I spent working late into the night, the sacrifices I made to support my family, and the times I put my own dreams on hold. I've always been the one to step up, to fix the problems, and to keep the peace. But this time, something inside me snaps. I think back to my college days. I was a bright student with big dreams, but I chose to stay close to home to save money. I worked two part-time jobs, one at a local bookstore and another at a coffee shop, to pay for my tuition and living expenses. Meanwhile, Ethan, who was 20 at the time, decided that college wasn't for him. He wanted to pursue a career in music, and my parents, Sarah and Henry, fully supported him. They bought him expensive instruments, paid for his recording sessions, and encouraged his every whim. I never complained. I thought it was my duty as a sister to support him. But as the years went by, I realized that my support was being taken for granted. Ethan's music career never really took off, but he continued to live off our parents' generosity. He would come home late at night, drunk and irresponsible, and I would be the one to clean up his messes. I paid for his speeding tickets, bailed him out of jail when he got into trouble, and even covered his rent when he couldn't afford it. My parents, on the other hand, seemed oblivious to his behavior. They always made excuses for him, saying that he was just going through a phase and that he needed time to find himself. They never once held him accountable for his actions, and it was always up to me to pick up the pieces. One day, when I was 26, my mother came to me with a request. She wanted me to co-sign for a loan so that Ethan could buy a new guitar amplifier. I was hesitant at first, but she convinced me that it was a one-time thing and that Ethan would pay it back. Reluctantly, I agreed. But as it turned out, Ethan never paid back the loan. The creditors started calling me, threatening to ruin my credit if I didn't settle the debt. I was furious, but when I confronted Ethan, he just shrugged it off and said that he didn't have the money. My parents also took his side, telling me that I was being too harsh and that I should just forgive him. That was the turning point for me. I realized that I couldn't keep living like this, constantly sacrificing my own happiness for the sake of my family. I started to distance myself from them, focusing on my career and my own life. Now here I am, sitting at the dining table, facing another ultimatum. Henry is looking at me expectantly, waiting for me to give in, as I always have. But this time, I'm not going to back down. I take a deep breath and look him in the eye. Okay, I say calmly. If you need the space for Ethan's career, then you can have it. But this is the last time. I'm done being the one who always gives in. My father looks taken aback, as if he can't believe what he's hearing. Ethan, who is sitting across the table, smirks, thinking that he's won. But he doesn't realize that this is just the beginning of the end for him. I stand up from the table and walk out of the room. I go to my bedroom and start packing my things. I don't pack my clothes or my shoes. I pack the things that matter most to me, my portfolio, my laptop, and my important documents. I know that leaving this house won't be easy, but I also know that it's the only way for me to move forward. I've spent too many years living in the shadow of my family, and I'm ready to start a new chapter in my life. I find a rental listing online for a small studio apartment in the city. It's not much, but it's mine, and it's a place where I can be myself. I contact the landlord and arrange to view the apartment the next day. As I'm packing, my phone rings. It's my mother. Amanda, what are you doing? She asks, her voice filled with concern. You can't just leave like this. This is your home. I take a deep breath and say, Mom, this hasn't been my home for a long time. I've been living here, but I haven't been living. I need to do this for myself. She starts to cry, begging me to stay, but I'm firm. I tell her that I love her, but I can't keep living like this. I hang up the phone and continue packing. The next day, I move into my new apartment. It's a small, cramped space, but it's filled with hope and possibility. I set up my workspace, and for the first time in a long time, I feel free. A few weeks later, I get a call from my father. He sounds different, more subdued. He tells me that Ethan's music career has hit a dead end. He's run out of money, and he's having a hard time finding a job. My father also admits that they've been struggling to make ends meet since I left. They realize that they've taken me for granted, and they're sorry for the way they've treated me. I listen to him, but I don't say much. I'm glad that they're finally starting to see the light, but I'm also cautious. I tell him that I'm willing to forgive them, but things need to change. Over the next few months, I see a transformation in my family. Ethan gets a job at a local music store, and he starts to take responsibility for his life. My parents also become more independent, learning to manage their finances and solve their own problems. One day, I receive an invitation to a family dinner. I'm hesitant at first, but I decide to go. When I arrive at the house, I'm greeted with warm smiles and hugs. During the dinner, we talk about the past, and my father apologizes again. He tells me that he's proud of me for standing up for myself and that he's learned a valuable lesson. As I look around the table, I realize that things have changed. We're still a family, but we're a different kind of family now. We're a family that respects each other's boundaries, supports each other's dreams, and values the individual. I leave the dinner feeling happy and content. I know that the road ahead won't be easy, but I'm ready to face it with my found strength and independence. I've finally broken free from the chains that held me back, and I'm looking forward to a future filled with possibilities.